Well, I believe it's the threat card. Reagan said it pretty well when he said that the thing that would unify the entire world was a threat from beyond this world.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
And, that's a rather substantial and poignant observation. Where do I think it leads? Well, it's really hard to say. And I don't want to be, a negative Ned about all of it, because I think there's some truly remarkable and positive attributes. But when you have people in power who are pathological, then fill in the blanks, and they're the ones that are controlling the flow of information and providing it to you, you have to kind of figure out the type of people that are feeding you the shit to figure out what kind of shit it is. If they're giving you information to make you look that direction, they're building it up for some reason, and it isn't for your best interests. On the other hand, I know, not believe or think, but I know that there are beings here who, one group, let's say one civilization, they don't care one way or the other. They're just sort of observing and watching and just, paying attention. This is a poignant time in the history of this world, because there are things that are coming in the future that is going to be quite remarkable and very destructive. So they're watching. They watched last time it happened, 12,000 years ago. And they probably watched when it happened 12,000 years before that, and so on. There's another group of people that believe that we are a part of who they are, and indeed they are, that are interested in trying to, I don't know, I wouldn't say direct, but kind of point the way so that we might get a new perspective, a different way of thinking, or perhaps increase our ability so that we might make better choices, and to do it in a non-overt way. So they have a legitimate concern to try and help. They're beneficent, but they're not like, don't worry, no one's going to hurt you, or we're going to take them out. It's not like that. At least not from everything I've been told and everything that I've seen. And then you have another group or two who think that this is a farm and it can be harvested whenever the hell they want to, and they do. And that has to do with women that have abduction memories, and they're pregnant and then they're not pregnant, and people abducted and they have scoop marks or little trackers or whatever the hell in them. That's not a beneficent group of people, and these are all people in their own context from the stars, but this is not a beneficent group of people doing that, and they've been doing that for a very long time. Now throw into the mix the powers that work on this world as part of this world, and they're looking at, how do we manage this? How do we make sure we're okay and we survive and we can benefit somehow from this? And so deals are made. Agreements have been reached. And it's no different, really, than when Eisenhower met with the quote-unquote Nordics. Rich was kind of a Nordic. I've met with those who would call them that classification as Nordic. So when Eisenhower met with them, it was like, let's have a cooperative time. We can share knowledge. We can meter it out so it doesn't interfere with the development of your world, but can also benefit your world. And Eisenhower was truly more interested in weapon systems because of the Cold War with Russia. Well, these folks, the nice guys, we'll call them, they wanted to work with every nation on this planet to bring everybody up to a given level and teach everyone how to live in peace and how to do things cooperatively. Oh no, those damn Russians. So another group comes in. They're a bit more nefarious, and they make agreements and concessions. There were agreements made with the good guys too, but not of a huge substantial nature. Sure, you can be here and, in a non-interfering, rather passive way. But the other guys, the bad guys, show up and say, sure, we've got some weapons for you. They'll never be able to touch you with this. And the next thing you know, agreements have been reached. The U.S. gets weapons. They think that the other people are not getting weapons, but that didn't work out so well. And then when these bad guys, we'll call them, started doing things that was outside the agreement, like abductions, well, we've got weapons, but we don't have weapons that can even remotely touch them. So it was a bit of a screwy deal in that respect. So how that plays out now in today's world, well, it basically is not that much different. There are still good guys, bad guys, and indifferent that are here. And they're still doing the things they're doing. And as long as, the people who desire control over others and the power here maintain their posture, and then these bad guys can just keep on doing whatever the hell they're doing. And the good guys that are here makes it very difficult for them to do anything. And I think eventually the scenario is going to play out in order for there to be a common enemy, that they're going to make it immediately obvious that there are people here who look like people who live on this world, and they're insurgent bad guys. And you better watch out for them, because it's those people that offer the greatest sense of threat to the actual bad guys to continue doing what they're doing. And it just makes the people in power on this side of the equation for humans even more powerful. And it throws scare and panic into everybody. And if you're scared and panicked, you want the government to protect you.
You won't act rational.
Exactly. You can't act rational. You're a veteran.
Yeah.
You get into a situation that's just damn dangerous. You're either going to be rational and think through what the hell you're going to do and have a plan immediately, or you're doomed. Well, people are not brought up in a way anymore. They're not shown that this is how you actually conduct your life. You figure out what's going on and then make rational decisions. No one does that. And as a result, it makes everyone very easy to control.
Exactly.
Do you want to help support Beyond Forbidden and receive extra content that's not seen anywhere else? By becoming a Patreon, a few things you will receive are the full-length 90-minute or 120-minute podcast episode. Members will also receive a private link to the video podcast and will only be exclusive to Patreon members. In-person, face-to-face interviews with some of the most well-known, respected researchers. Behind-the-scenes footage of interviews not seen anywhere else. And that's just a few perks. So what do you have to lose? Cut out one brain-rotting, overly processed Happy Meal a month that doesn't do anything beneficial for your mind, body, and spirit, and become a Patreon for just $5.